All right, I'm back with another XLBI challenge. Sorry about the break. It's been an eventful couple of weeks, and I wanted to give Miles, my business partner, a chance to catch up a little bit because what we've decided to do is actually, alongside me doing these videos and you watching me struggle through each of these challenges, Miles is then going to follow up with a supporting workbook and an article that's going to look at whatever I come up with, but also then some of the other solutions, and quite often like a Power Query solution, just so that there's even more content, there's even more value, there's even more assets for you if you want to kind of try these challenges to get from this process of me doing it. Miles and I obviously then get even more exposure to these techniques. You are welcome to see how many times I go wrong over the course of doing this. If you haven't watched any of these so far, I hope you will quickly get very comfortable and familiar with the idea that I don't mind looking stupid here. So, right, what do we got? So, challenge 7, provide a formula to count the number of English alphabets and numeric digits in every cell. Expected answers given against all cells. All right, before I even look in detail at that, how am I feeling? Partially slightly ropey because I've taken a couple of weeks off and I instantly feel like I've probably forgotten everything that I've semi picked up so far. Um, all right, so there's two things I think I'm instantly going to lean on, luckily, which I think I've done enough of to get there by brute force. One is the thing that I've used a few times, which I think is splitting these text strings out using mid and sequence. I have a feeling this instantly means I'm going to end up doing it for one of these strings and then probably throwing a map over the top. I would really like to not just always turn to map to do this, but I am feeling a bit rusty after a couple of weeks out. So we'll see how that goes. And the only other thing I can think to do is lean on code. Um, English alphabets and numeric digits. So before I do anything else, what my codes are going to be like A to Z. I don't actually think I'm going to use these. A to Z, 1 to 9, and and capitals, surely. And actually, that's not right. Probably 0 to 9. So if you did a code on these, what am I doing? If you did a code on these individual characters, what do you get? You get a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, I think, am I going to do another messy filter? I think because of where I'm at the moment, I'm probably going to lean in on filter to do this. The only thing I can think to do is to split the text strings up, look at each character individually, and then filter it down by whether they're within these ranges. That is not going to be a massively pretty filter. My dog has decided to come and join me. Okay, so I'm going to follow the same process I've been doing every time so far, which is just start by not worrying about a single cell solution. So what would I be doing? I would be doing mid, not min, mid of the text string, sequence, len. God, I am rusty. Len of the text string. I think that's it for the sequence. Number of characters, 1, close the brackets. Oh, I've got a little spill issue. Okay. Yes. Okay. So step 1 that works as I remember it, I can split that text string. I'm not even going to bother trying to do this as an array because I have a feeling it's just immediately not going to work. So what's step 2? Step 2, if I was doing this in separate stages, would be take the code of those text strings. Let's get my mouse out of the way. What would step 3 be? Bearing in mind this is still the one text string. Well, I would want to filter that down. This is the bit that the way I'm going to do it, I think is messy. And I guarantee you there are better ways to do this that clever people are going to have submitted. It's going to be a filter, isn't it? So filter, I mean, this does at the very least give me excellent practice on the sort of and or relationships within a filter function. But I just think it's going to be quite long. So what am I saying? Include, I might even just get that in my clipboard because I think I'm going to be using this a lot. So this is going to be a few things. I think we're going to have to do some ands and ors. Let's set this up with filter this down by if that code is greater than or equal to 97 and using the asterisk, the multiplication brackets, the code is less than or equal to 122. Don't shoot me for using hard-coded numbers. Step one, okay. Plus, so or it's greater than or equal to 48 and it's less than or equal to 57. I hate this formula already, but we're going to have to stick with it now. And it's greater than or equal to 65. Hang on, I've got too many ands. No. Or it's greater than or equal to 65 and less than or equal to 90. That is horrible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But it's the right answer. Time is it? 11 o'clock on a Tuesday morning. I'm going to just stick with being happy that that is the right answer. Okay, so is that all I need to do to just prove it? So what would I then do? I mean, I could do like a counter on that. That would give me 10. All right, so that's the answer, isn't it? All right, so now step 2, which is turning this into a single cell formula, which is always the interesting part for me. So let's do a let of, all right, 2 steps. Do the let first, then we'll throw on the map on top because I don't think this is going to work straight away as just an array input. So let's call the first variable here strings. Well, what? Strings or string really, isn't it? So string is A2. For now, let's just return strings so I can see what I'm doing next. Again, I think I can just start copying over the logic here. So the first thing I then did was this mid sequence. So let's pick up this. We'll go into here. We'll start making this a little bit neater. So this comes onto a new line, but actually I'm going to be deleting this straight away anyway. We'll call this second variable string split. And we'll throw in the mid. Anything referencing A2 should now reference string. Okay. And then we will return string split. Nice. Step 2 is done. What did we do next? We just did a code, then we did the filter. So I think I can remember the code bit. Let's get that. Oh, crap. Let's get that horrible. Oh, Jesus, what have I done? There you go. Let's get the filter logic in the clipboard, and then I can do this in 2 goes. So we'll call this string code. And it's going to be code of string split. Let's have a look at that. String split, boom. No, what am I doing? It's going to be string code. I thought that looked wrong. String code. What's that giving me? Good. That's giving me all the code. So that lines up with this. Then we're going to do the horrible filter, which I may have just lost from the clipboard. I'm not sure. Oh, no, I've still got it. Okay, so we'll call this string filter. I don't know why. This is the first time I've ever suddenly decided to use a standard naming convention for my variables with the word string, but we'll roll with it. And all of these E2 references, what's E2? E2 is the code, string code. All of these need to become string code. So we will change that. That's going to make it look even more messy and long, but again, I will wait for well, I'll wait to see the awesome submissions from other people and any feedback that I get to show me the various ways this could probably be made nicer. Okay. Then we could put a comma on there and we'll return string filter. Nice, 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 nice. Okay. And then we will throw on a filter count, and we'll do a count of string filter. And we will return filter count. 10. Beautiful. All right. Now, I should be able to remember the map thing. It's only been a couple of weeks. So what do you do when you do a map? I don't think I've got the ETA update yet, so I'm just going to stick to using the actual Lambda approach. What's the array? Well, the array is going to be this whole set of strings. Lambda, and we'll just call it Q. For some reason, I seem to default to Q a lot. And then we will just put this on a new line. And all I need to do is replace that with the variable name that I've put in Q, 2 brackets at the end. Boom, it should work. It doesn't work. It nearly works. Why doesn't it work? Oh, okay. Interesting. Interesting. So it doesn't like the blank. Now, I wonder why that is. So all right. I think that's a result of me kind of using counter without properly thinking that through. Wonder why that maybe that returns an error value then and therefore then picks up one character. I don't really know. Somebody might have to help me with that. I don't know why that returns a 1. I'm assuming it actually still works. So if I put 3 numbers in, yeah, so it does work. If I put 1 in there or 2 or whatever it is, it will have a 1 as the number of characters within these ranges. It just doesn't quite work when it's blank. So I think there's an easy way around that. I think I could use count. I was going to say count ifs, but can I not just use count? I can use count. Okay, well, I mean, if you'd have sat me down 3 years ago and said, this is the sort of stuff you're going to be building, I would have been stressed. But that is starting to get very familiar to me. And I'm already now in a mindset where I'm like, okay, things like map and nesting a let within a map, setting out my let logic like this quite neatly makes sense to me. I'm sure this is not very nice and could be done in a much more efficient way. And that's still my challenge, I think. I need to go from what feels like quite a logical next step for me here to really getting into a little bit more of the sort of I don't know, the ways that you can avoid having to use filter all the time and use flags and other approaches in clever ways. Anyway, I'm massively waffling. I got to the answer. Let's should we have a quick look? This is now mainly for Miles's benefit. So let me bring over the Microsoft would love your perspective. No, no, you get enough of that now. Right. So, challenge 7. Let's have a look at the actual LinkedIn page. I want to guess that Rick's at the top. Oh, he's not. Oh, there you go. Okay. So, let's make sure I got the right challenge. So, Bhavya Gupta, again, somebody that always has some epic solutions in here. That is. Oh, do you know what? It's not. So a nested let within a net, a let. My God, substitute. So there's a little, no, totally different to what I did. All right, I'll have to unpick that. Miles, I think that's one for the workbook, definitely. Um, wow, just. Oh, I think I'm maybe substituting lowercase with uppercase so that you don't have to have quite as many kind of code ranges. Interesting to see that people are using the other approach, so the char rather than the code. Maybe that's an easier way of getting to the answer. Let me just have a quick look. Yeah, I used code and everybody else has turned to char. Very, very interesting. I'm going to have to think through that. What else have we got? My God. Okay. Well, look, I mean, to be honest, what some of these solutions make me feel slightly better about is the length of my solution, because some of these are actually quite long. I always worry that I'm going to look here and it's going to be about 15 characters long as a solution. Lots of sequence. Just didn't cross my mind to use char. But there you go. Hey ho. All right, let me go back to the workbook. Where is it? So there you go. That is my solution. I'm not saying it's the best solution. It's a solution. I hope that helps some of you watching this who are trying to get up to speed alongside me.